Fair use.
Do you hate white people? You know, I think the better question is, why do the whites hate each other so much? According to the Crackers book, history is an endless pattern of white-on-white crime. It is either the rich whites seeking more power and influence, so they throw the poor whites at each other to get it, or the rich whites wanting more power and influence, so they convince the poor whites that people of color are the problem and throw them at people of color. A classic example of this would be the original plantation. We also got World War I, World War II, the Napoleonic Wars, the Russian white-on-white slavery system, Alexander III, Nicholas II, Vladimir Lenin, Joseph Stalin, Vladimir Putin. All of this that I just mentioned is just some surface-level white-on-white crime shit. Let me introduce you to some deeper-level stuff. Introduce to you the Vietnam War. Bradley, what does Asia have to do with the whites? You guys remember when I said the rich whites would convince the poor whites that people of color are the problem and they would throw them at people of color? This is it. Unlike the Indonesian National Revolution and unlike the Korean War, the Vietnam War was a little bit different. A bunch of poor whites saw black people protesting the Vietnam War and they were like, they're kind of making sense. Why are we dying? For what reason, bro? And then the American government was like, these poors have figured it out, gentlemen. We gotta pull the troops back. So the Vietnam War ended not because Southeast Asians were dying, not because black people were dying more per capita. It was just because too many whites died and too many whites complained about this shit. Another good example of white-on-white crime is when slavery ended. What I just said sounds a little bit fucking crazy, so let me explain it like this. Sir, slave rebellions are popping up left, right, and center. Now is that right? I don't think we can keep this up, sir. We cannot financially recover from this. Well, then we must end slavery. But sir, now hang on now, Johnson, let me land. We must end slavery on paper so that we can spend our time perfecting capitalism and the comedy joke that is the American dream. We put in fake inclusive stuff like DEI. You know what that means, Johnson? Not only the colors will work for us, but also the poor whites. Sir? You're a goddamn genius. Now, with all that being said, let's go back to the original question. Do I really hate white people? Now, here's the thing. The whites tend to think that whenever I say I want to reduce the wealth gap between a white person and a black person, I'm being anti-white. When I say that they need to give native people their land back, I'm bringing up old stuff to make them look bad. Here's what I fucking think, though. You people can take your clan hoods and go back to Europe.
Yo, I don't know if it's just me, bro. But if you look at white people in this country right now and just observe them, the look of hopelessness and despair is so apparent on their face, dog. And no matter what they try to do, how much they try to cap, they know some shit is wrong, dog. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason they going along with this shit is because all they known is conform to whiteness, dog. And they know deep down that no matter how much they keep conforming, it's not gonna save them this time, bro. And yo, I'm telling you, dog, like a majority of these white people here in America, they may not make it to midterms, bro, if you catch my drift. Like, a majority of these people look like they be mad that they woke up today. You know what I'm saying? They just be mad that they got to spend another day on Earth, dog. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers do not have the muscle of resilience built up. They ain't got no heart. They weak in the knees, bro. We only a year and a couple months in, bro, and they ready to give up. I can tell you that shit. There's a couple of them that's hooting and hollering and all that type of shit. That shit gonna wear off soon. By the time we do get to the midterms, bro, if that shit don't go as people want it, bro, these white folks is just gonna cut the cord, dog. It's not funny, but it's like, bro, I can tell, like, these motherfuckers is not built for this shit, bro. And the good thing about being black is no matter how many times we get the short end of the stick, dog, we still got our own people to fall back on. And the thing is, white people don't have no real community. You really got to think, like, outside of us going to work, bro, we be in our own world, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, these motherfuckers gotta go home to MAGA supporters. Like, they can sit there and say they hate Trump, but they dad, they granddad, they aunt, they uncle, they cousin, and all that type of shit, they probably gotta hear that type of shit 24/7. Had these type of conversations and all that shit. Like, bro, they don't get a break from that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? All we gotta do is hop off the internet. You know what I'm saying? Stay within our own parameters, and we good. We ain't gotta hear none of that bullshit. You know, you might have one crazy nigga here, one coon ass nigga there, but they rarely be in our collective proximity as black people. They usually want to hang around these OFAs. So it's rarely that you hear this tomfoolery within our community, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Niggas will say dumb shit, but you ain't got to hear this type of bullshit that they probably got to deal with 24/7. And like, I don't feel bad for you at all, bro.